Hi everyone, welcome to the Movieception Show. My name is Fariba, and tonight we're about to watch The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 6, which means that we're now just about getting pretty close to the end of Season 3. We're already more than halfway through the season, which is pretty insane because it does seem as if it's just started. And I mean, it's a very valid argument to say that it just feels as if the story has only started because the way that the whole season has been progressing since, its premiere last month, it definitely does feel a bit unusual with the way that they are executing the story, the plot that we're seeing, the overarching storyline for season 3. Like, for instance, this is a show that we've been following with Din Djarin and Grogu, right? Which, again, concluded way back with their relationship in season 2. And although they are back together, sort of like the whole idea of Din Djarin's story, kind of his conflict, basically got wrapped up really quickly back in episode 2. Like, we haven't seen him, kind of being a prominent character since then. For one thing, we have seen Grogu become a far more bigger character. I think we've actually seen him far more this time around, kind of being a bit more independent than ever before. Like, I even see that in this season, they're definitely upping up the visual effects with Grogu and, doing some really nifty tricks with him actually, walking just even on the sands of even the sands, or the fact that he might be using his powers, or that we're actually, like, in one episode where we got to see more of kind of his own perspective of the flashback and just seeing kind of how he's reacting to it. Like, a lot of how they've been utilizing the visual effects has been really great so far, especially as we're seeing Grogu. As of this point, it's pretty clear that Grogu is still a pretty important character for this season. But now, Din Djarin has really taken a much more sidestep character. Like, he's been really sidelined since episode 2, but a lot of the shift of the character that we've been seeing has been going towards Bo-Katan more so often now. Like, we've been seeing since episode 2 that the moment that she, appeared in season 3, like, she's just become a very central character. We've been seeing a lot of her, character development really progressing in a really robust way. And I think last episode basically solidified how important her storyline is going into season 3. Like, I think as of right now, it seems as if the two important characters this season is Grogu and Bo-Katan. Although, again, there's definitely a lot of questions of how Din Djarin will fit into the whole season 3 storyline, because we haven't really seen him a lot. Like, he's just been there. Ever since he, again, concluded his arc back in episode 2, he's just kind of been there, maybe kind of giving some advices here and there, but nothing really too substantial compared to Grogu and Bo-Katan. And again, last week's episode basically kind of justified that this season might be more of a Bo-Katan season than really a Din Djarin season. So again, lots of questions about that, of course. We've been seeing a lot of Coruscant this season. I'm assuming we're going to see more Coruscant going into the final episodes. Maybe we might be going to Coruscant today. We'll see about that. But yeah, I believe tonight's episode is directed by Bryce Dallas Howard, who is basically become like a directing icon for Star Wars. I think when it comes to her episodes, she is really well known for being quite finesse and detailed and just kind of really being very creative with her episodes. I'm really excited for this episode tonight just because I believe she is the one who has directed it. So yeah, I think without further ado, let's get right down into episode 6. Oh man, I haven't seen an Imperial ship in a while. I'm sensing it's Moff Gideon.
We are a peaceful corn freighter making our way.
We are not Imperial either.
Oh,
We are Mandalorian.
Uh-huh.
And sadly, you're too late to hire us. You see, we've been commissioned to track you down, Captain Show.
Oh.
I know it was for love. But my job is not to judge, but simply to complete the tasks for which we were hired.
Dang.
No, I won't go. I won't go.
Don't make us damage your girlfriend's pretty little ship.
Captain, please. Talk to me.
Dang.
You have to go with me. Please go.
Okay.
I can't destroy everything I've built for a childish flame.
Is that all this was to you?
Dang.
long ride home.
I thought Mandalorians were honorable.
We are, kid. All it takes is a few credits.
Whoa.
There they are.
Aww.
Hey, best if you can.
Welcome to Plaza 15, the Outer Rim's only remaining direct democracy. You've been assigned a docking slip. You will be guided on the assigned path. Engaging automated guidance.
For a ride.
Aww. Oh my god, I loved it. Oh, the relationship.
This has been requested by the leadership of the planetary democracy.
I'm afraid we have no pressing matters. Perhaps at a later time.
Please do not attempt to leave the vehicle. This is not a request.
Oh. Aww.
I've never been here before. Have you?
I haven't even heard of it. Do you
Of
think
course
we're
he
gonna have to
hasn't.
blast our way out of here?
We'll find out.
Party! Come!
Is that Jack Black? Oh my god.
Little sip sip. Come, please.
Oh my god. Who would have thought that?
I was once a facilities planning officer during the war.
And is that Lizzo? Oh my.
Public amnesty program. I was able to help rebuild Plaza 15.
You were
We fell in love.
Aww, Grogu. Grogu's so interested.
Perhaps hold the baby.
Everyone wants a baby.
take kindly to strangers.
Oh my god.
You see, it was time for our planet to move into a new era.
But because of this, all of our resources go to growth and the people.
I'd like to speak to these predators.
That can be a moment. Enjoy your meal, don't get up. Show our guests the view.
Interesting.
We have a problem.
The people have voted we are a pluralistic society. You are Mandalorians. Weaponry and armor are intrinsic to your culture, are they not?
They are.
You see where we're going here?
You want us to eliminate your drug problem?
Apologies if that is the impression I gave. What I intended to convey is that I would hope that this excursion would be viewed as an act of... In fact, Plaza 15 would formally recognize Mandalore as a sovereign system and petition the new republic to recognize it as such.
The mercenary captain, Axe Robes, indicated that he split from you because you had designs on ruling Mandalore.
What do you think?
You had me at battle droids.
Yeah.
These droids were all refocused stockpile and captured in scheduled to be scrapped.
Christopher Lloyd? Oh. They're really going up on the cameos today. Oh wow, they have a really bad droid problem.
Turn them off.
What?
Why not turn them all off? Who's in charge of that?
There's a fail-safe cut-off
point.
switch built into the system. Our direct democracy. If we shut down the droids, our citizens wouldn't know how to survive.
Dang.
Society would collapse.
Then what
Wow.
do you want from us?
To seek out
See what happens when you rely on droids.
Are you taking this personally?
Just pointing it out.
Let's just finish this and be on our way.
I totally forgot that he used to have a thing about droids back in season 1.
Din Djarin, friend of Ugnaught Queel. You will answer our questions and help us with our task. I have spoken.
Dang. Nice authority.
Thank you for your hospitality and for sharing. I've spent time with Ugnaughts. There's a particular way to communicate with them. Accusing the
course.
work of malfunctioning is an insult.
This whole place looks like Epcot.
Battle droid since the Clone Wars.
I have.
Ooh!
Any of them look suspicious?
They all look suspicious.
Oh!
This is a restricted area. You are to vacate immediately.
We have a few questions.
I haven't seen one of those in a while.
Show me your identification, please. Big word. What are you doing?
Then this shouldn't faze them.
Dang.
Sir? Excuse me. Excuse me, sir.
Oh! Ooh! Oh! Okay.
What's it say?
The resistor.
Sounds like a droid bar.
And there's an address.
I don't think they get many of our kind here.
I figured. I wonder why.
Can I help you?
If you don't start answering questions, I'll yank your memory circuit and dissect it back to the lab.
Oh, that's a Mando I know.
Nobody leaves.
Ooh.
A word.
Stay where I can.
Continue, we will be.
You'll be what?
There are concerns among our customers that we will be replaced.
By what?
Humans. Most of us have been refurbished and reprogrammed. Some droids on Plazia date back to the Separatists. The New Republic would send them to scrap. But here on Plazia, they are given a second chance.
Well, these catastrophes don't help your argument.
Exactly. That's why we need your help. We don't want to be replaced. We still have a lot to contribute. Human life is so short.
Okay. Interesting how things have turned out.
The particles are definitely present.
What are the chances that they're still active?
Oh, he got the Darksaber out. Finally.
They're still active.
Now you know.
These are the subparticles. They're actually nanodroids.
How did nanodroids get into the temple?
What's that?
Striation. It's a chain code.
Ooh. If it has a chain code, then we should be able to determine its point of origin.
And it's illegal. There's no record of this transaction on the government register. These droids were ordered by an individual.
Is there a name?
Our head of security. Commissioner Hellgate.
Dang. Or not.
If I trigger this failsafe, it will convert the planet's docile workforce back into battle droids and unleash them upon the unsuspecting citizens of Kazir. Don't make me do it.
There's no way out, Commissioner. Give yourself up.
I support democracy. Count Dooku was a visionary. He was cut short in his prime by the Jedi forces.
Okay, well, Count Dooku. Interesting. Good call. Is this... Oh. Oh, Grogu. Cheating. Oh, Grogu.
I've never seen such a streak.
And to this little one, I grant knighthood.
Knighthood already.
You are now a knight of the ancient order of independent regencies. Go in peace, great traveler, until our paths meet again.
My lord, my lady.
This is like an awkward family reunion.
Then I challenge you. One warrior to another.
Ooh. Duel.
Do you accept my challenge?
I do.
You go, girl. Oh. Ooh. Doesn't Din have the dark saber by any chance?
You won't even take the dark saber from me. She's the one you should be challenged.
Enough, Mandalorian. He is every bit the Mandalorian that they were. Certainly as much as any of us.
But according to our ways, the ruler of
Then she shall have it. She defeated the enemy that defeated me.
Logic.
Would this blade then not belong to her? Belong to her.
That's a good point to raise.
Its rightful owner.
Interesting. Huh. Hey. That was episode 6 of The Mandalorian. And this was actually a very interesting one. I mean, I actually thoroughly enjoyed this episode because there's just a lot of things that are going on. Like, I love how it, for the most part, it starts off kind of being more of a sort of like a detective type of situation. Like, we're getting this like buddy cop between Bo-Katan and Din Djarin as they're like investigating the whole droid situation. I really love how they kind of set that up because it kind of sets up basically the dynamic between Bo-Katan and Din Djarin, because for a while, like we've seen them for a while up until today, right? Like, we've seen their interaction, we've seen them together, we're kind of seeing how, the fact that Bo-Katan came with Din Djarin to kind of see the Kree ways, like, we've definitely been, like, it kind of shows again that even regardless of everything that's been happening with the differing, philosophies that, Din Djarin might have or Bo-Katan might have, like, you can tell that there's definitely this mutuality between the two Mandalorians, and it really helps set up kind of a lot of what happens by the end of this episode, right? Because here it's like we really see this understanding between them, how they're working together to solve this case that they have in hand, and they do so well. Like, again, like, I think what I really like is that there's kind of, in a sense, foreshadowing this partnership between Bo-Katan and Din Djarin. Like, we've seen in one case where Bo-Katan is very good in certain cases given her skill sets. Like, we've seen in previous episodes where, because she is very insightful, she is very observant of like finding things around her, like whether it be saving the little kid or helping out Navarro. She's very good leader, right? She has a leadership skill. She is able to unify a whole group of people, as we see by the end of this episode. We see kind of that aspect of Bo-Katan. Then we see Din Djarin where it's like, yeah, he might not have the leadership skills, but he's someone who does have a bit more of like a, you know, he does have his own understanding of people. Like for one thing, like he understands, you know, when to be a bit more skeptical about, you know, certain people, whether it be like the droids or, you know, the fact that, you know, when they were, you know, with those people out in the, you know, in the ground, like he knew how they are because he used to work with them, right? So he does have his own personal, you know, experiences working with certain people. And again, just seeing them work together, like this whole buddy cop between them, I really love the dynamic because we do get a really great, like, you know, a cat and mouse chase eventually with that whole droid sequence. But I really love the dynamic that they really set up. I think one of the things I will say, like, this is an episode where I really find that, like, we're finally kind of seeing a bit more of Din Djarin. Like, again, as I said before in some of the previous episodes, like, Din Djarin has been very sidelined. Like, I haven't really been seeing him. He hasn't really been talking a lot. He has been resorted to just a supporting character. And I mean, it doesn't say that he isn't still a supporting character here. Like, he still kind of has that aspect to him. But I definitely felt like he definitely had a bit more of a presence this time around than we saw in the last 2-3 episodes. Like, he was actually far more involved. Like, his screen time being shared with Bo-Katan was definitely far more equal this time around than some of the previous episodes. And again, just a big part of it being the dynamic that they're setting up between them two, and, you know, the fact that Bo-Katan still does have respect for Din Djarin, the fact that she doesn't want to, you know, go on a combat with him. I mean, and just like, you know, because again, she needed the dark saber. Like, we knew for a while that the reason why, you know, she wanted to go on this quest to unify Mandalore is to get the dark saber from Moff Gideon. Now, of course, that got, you know, that it became a bit complicated when Din Djarin had fought off Din Djarin, and he was the one who won the dark saber, right? And so that basically foiled her plans for unifying Mandalore. And now it's like, here we are, like a different sort of way that they resolved this. And I mean, let's be honest, we remember back in episode 2 where Bo-Katan, like, I mean, for one thing, Din Djarin doesn't even know how to hold a darksaber. Like, he was struggling to even use it at all. Like, he had no idea how to use it. He did not have the power for it. He was struggling, right? But when we see Bo-Katan and her ability to use it, she was flawless. She was so skilled in using the darksaber. She knew how to use it, and not just that, but being very efficient in using it, right? And that's where it's like we see this contrast between them. And yet again, it's like even with this contrast, they still have a mutuality between them. So I really love how they set up the dynamic between Bo-Katan and Din Djarin in this episode. I think that this was a very crucial aspect to continue off the whole Mandalore story, to kind of set up this, you know, union between every Mandalore, trying to get everyone back together from what appears to now be kind of the next stage of this whole storyline in season 3. And again, like, I think for this episode, it does kind of have a little bit of its filler aspects, because again, we don't really get to the main part of the overarching storyline until literally the last 5 minutes of the episode. But I think that, again, it seems as if they're kind of slowly setting up, like, the bits and pieces of the main overarching storyline, which hopefully by the time we get to the next episode, will be very focused on Mandalore. But yeah, I think that was just one thing I wanted to mention. Of course, like, this was the episode where we got so many cameos. Like, who would have thought that we were going to get Jack Black, Lizzo, Christopher Lloyd in a single episode like this? I mean, that was some really great picks that we got. Again, like, this was a very cameo-filled episode, which I would not have anticipated. I think the whole, like, you know, planet just gave me a lot of, like, Epcot vibes. Like, I think that was just something I kept thinking, like, yo, this looks like Epcot. Which, I mean, it'll be pretty on brand because Disney owns Star Wars. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if their inspiration of the whole, you know, of the whole city was because of Epcot. Like, I really got Epcot vibes out of it. But yeah, overall, like, I mean, I thought it was a pretty good episode. There was a great bit of action, a great bit of dialogue, really kind of diving into the chemistry between the characters. I will even say, for one thing, the whole sequence that we get where they are investigating with the droids, and then, like, that again, that whole chase sequence, I did get a lot of Attack of the Clone vibes. Like, I don't know if you can, like, remember, like, for me, I was thinking about the whole sequence where Anakin and Obi-Wan are trying to chase over like one of, I guess, like, I can't remember who it was, but they were chasing over someone, and like a lot of the sequences, again, they were kind of going to the streets fighting, they go into the bar. Like, I was getting a lot of those vibes in this episode, so definitely a lot of inspiration I feel like we were getting from that. And I mean, it makes sense because Attack of the Clones, you have a whole bit about the droids, right? And so, and we get that here, right? Like, they're really calling back to the prequels a lot. So yeah, I mean, this was an episode where I think was really well done. Again, it's directed by Bryce Dallas Howard. I think, again, she's a very great director. I think she has really put such a marking in terms of the episodes that she does end up, executing. When it comes to The Mandalorian, she has done this so many times. I feel like this one, like, we really see a really good balance of like the tone, the setup, the action, the dialogue, the dynamic, the character arcs, and then not just that, but I feel like we finally kind of got this resolution. Like, I mean, I know a lot of people are probably going to be like, yeah, this is probably not how I would have imagined, the whole conflict between Mando and Bo-Katan to really resolve the whole Darksaber situation. Because again, I know for me, like, before the whole season had started, I was getting this implication that Bo-Katan was going to be the antagonist, and therefore it kind of seemed as if there was going to be some sort of major clash between Bo-Katan and Din Djarin. But that hasn't even been the case at all as of this point. Like, it seems as if they've been really friendly with each other. They've been pretty understanding with one another. And even then, like, they had a pretty decent way to kind of resolve the whole situation with Darksaber without either party having to resort to any sort of violence. So I know a lot of people are probably gonna be like, I would have preferred something a bit more juicy, like, maybe an actual hand-to-hand combat to fight for the Darksaber. But we'll see how that goes. I mean, I think as of this point, like, I don't think Bo-Katan's going to be an antagonist moving forward. I think that as of this point, they're just going to be strong allies, that they're going to try again, unionize Mandalorians, get them back to Mandalore, of course, repopulate or whatever, right? And not just that, but I feel like, again, there's definitely a much more overarching danger out there that they haven't really addressed as of yet. I think there's still far more to what we're seeing in season 3 than just the whole Mandalore storyline. I think that there's something far more happening again. Like, I mean, they've been referencing back to Coruscant so many times. I mean, this episode we don't hear Coruscant at all, so I mean, again, this was a very focused episode on Bo-Katan and Din Djarin, which was great because I feel like for once I definitely had a much more balanced episode, where we were focused on the main characters of the season, and that was the big thing about it. And I feel like this was a very refreshing episode for that. But it seems like we're gonna eventually go back to Coruscant, and one of the future final episodes that we do have, it would have to deal with Grogu. I think that right now it seems as if they kind of pause a little bit with Grogu's storyline, but I feel like we're going somehow all of this with the Mandalore story, with Coruscant, the fact that Moff Gideon is now out, is on the loose basically. Definitely seems like there's something that's going to somehow bring all of these distinct storylines and merge somehow by the finale. As to how, I'm not sure. But again, like, I feel like this is kind of a really good direction right now that we're going into. It's been very slow. It's been a very slow ride. And I think after this one, we only have about 2-3 episodes left. So 7, 8, 9. So there's only really 3 episodes left. So I don't know how they're going to try and wrap up everything that we've had in just the 3 episodes that we have. Like, I mean, for me, I feel like the story has just started. It just started like last episode, and now we're kind of seeing a lot of that being, progress, being advanced as of now, and it's like we're only seeing snippets of it. But we'll see how things go. Maybe, who knows, we might get much more longer episodes in the last 3, that we have left. Who knows? Maybe we're gonna have something that's going to really blow our minds. I have no idea with that. But again, for now, we're just gonna have to kind of continue this ride, see how season 3 continues off with things. Again, like, the setup that we've gone in so far has been great. The character development for Bo-Katan has been phenomenal. I think, again, she has been, basically been a big highlight of season 3, and I think that that's a really good sign of things for her character. I'm just really hoping that we get to see a bit more of a presence with Din Djarin. Like today, we finally got to see more of him, so that was finally something that was a bit of a relief this time around. I know Grogu was kind of a bit, had a much smaller screen time this time around, which is fine. Like it makes sense because how would he be able to, handle a whole, investigative part that they were dealing with? But yeah, aside from that, a lot of great cameos. I really love it. Nice to see Jack Black, Lizzo, Christopher Lloyd. Again, the dynamic has been great. Love the last 5 minutes of the episode where they really, again, set up kind of what is going to be a crucial aspect. I think a turning point of their pursuit for Mandalore. But yeah, I think that's all I would like to say. I think, again, Bryce Dallas Howard does a great job with this episode overall. I think, again, the action has been great, and I think that's just about it for now. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are about episode 6. Did you like kind of the execution of the story? Do you think it was a bit too much of a filler, or was it enough to kind of set up basically what would be the turning point of the final moments? What do you think about Din Djarin and Bo-Katan's relationship in this episode? It definitely feels like they have a very good mutuality. Do you agree upon that? Do you think that this will continue to be the case going into the final 3 episodes, or is there something that's going to cause some sort of clash? We don't know yet. Maybe, who knows? And what do you think about the cameos? I feel like this was a pretty big episode of cameos. I like them overall. Again, definitely has a bit more of the filler aspects, but I think they were fun. What do you think about them, as well as kind of just what you think is going to happen moving forward in the next 3 episodes, knowing that, again, it feels like as if the storyline has only just started, but how will it kind of speed things up? Let me know in the comments down below, and make sure to like and subscribe.